Hello. Hello, friends. How are ye? Yeah, cold weather. It's a drag. Hey, I'm sick again. What's up with that? Excuse me. Oh. Oh. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I had dinner a little bit ago here. And I'm kind of waiting to see how it's going to be. Yeah, no. But I have, I'm just going to call it a cold, I guess. I have a cold. Well, I have a doctor's appointment on Friday. So, hopefully that will be fruitful. Start the project. Oh. No. No, I haven't started anything. Yeah, ads on YouTube are weird and wild because you can just use any YouTube video as an ad. So what some people started doing was literally just setting the video that they want you to see as an ad. So you'll get like, you get all kinds of fucking weird shit as ads. You'll get seminars. Yeah, like they've turned the ad system into like a platform within the platform. And it's truly obnoxious because if you're just letting videos play like on some device where you can't have ad block, you know, some sort of like a TV stick type situation, a fucking ad will come on that's just hours long. And it just sits there and plays until you fucking skip it. Yeah. I need to set up some sort of DNS ad blocking shit. I just haven't got around to it. Although I do feel like I have a renewed fire under my butt to make stuff happen. I think being sick lately and then, you know, going to the marathon, I just get busy living or get busy dying, I guess. I feel like I haven't been doing stuff, but I don't really I don't really have a good reason not to do things, so I don't know. But I think I've also been feeling better because, you know, this new job has been paying off in various different ways. For instance, I think this month, for the first time in I can't tell you how long.
Yes, I am the Lord.
Din0SC2 gifted a tier 1 sub to Anders79. They have given 77 gift subs
I
in
really
the
need
channel.
to fix that. I need to fix that. But yeah, for the first time, and I can't even tell you how long. Dinos, thank you for the gift sub, by the way. I just don't. I need to set it so it doesn't read those out, because it takes forever for it to read the whole fucking thing, and I have to sit here and wait. I'll see if I can figure that out right now. I lost my train of thought. Oh. So for the first time in, and I can't tell you how long, if you don't count the car or tax debt, my net worth will finally be above 0. Yay. Technically it isn't. Technically it's still well below 0. But I have chipped away at all the credit card debt. Slowly but surely. When we were getting levied by the government because of the bullshit made up tax debt, I started leaning more on credit cards as a buffer, because, you know, if they can just wipe out my accounts,
yes, I am the Lord,
any old time without any warning, I don't know it's coming, and I have to worry about doing shit like paying rent and bills, then, you know, I had to protect myself. But it led to building up, you know, a lot of credit debt. Lord Terranix, thank you for 18 months. So finally I'm almost out of that. Almost above water. Now, of course, you know, I have a car loan.
Yes,
So-
I am the Lord.
Din0SC2 gifted a tier 1 sub to Divine Wind 420.
Right, I need to fix
They
this.
have
Thank
given
you for reminding
78
me that I
gift
need to
subs
fix
in the
this.
channel.
I hate it so much. I've hated it for like 1,000,000 years and just haven't gone in and fucking done anything about it. Because my overlay setup is so fucking complicated. Yeah. Well, so I took steps to, like, any of them that were really, really big. If I had a windfall, or I had accumulated a significant sum, I would knock the big ones like in half or whatever to try to mitigate the interest. Yeah, because like when you're doing the minimum payments or whatever, you know, you have it like suck $250 out of your account, and then like a few days later you see the interest fees come out and it's like more than half of what you paid, and you just feel like, hey, you know, maybe this isn't great. Maybe this is not the right move. Yeah, the minimum payments are pretty much designed to keep you treading water forever. Keep giving them money. Now, which of these 50 different things is the one that handles the text-to-speech. Let's see, it's definitely a subscriber alert. Text-to-speech settings. Nope. Save. Variation setting. When variations is a gift. TTS settings. No. Save. So yeah, the thing about this is that it's in every fucking overlay, which is painful. So save overall, and now let me replay one of those gift subs.
Yes, I am the Lord. I am the Lord.
Oh, you would have heard that twice. But hey, it didn't read it off. You know, what I probably did was I probably fixed it on one of the overlays before and then didn't do it again. I didn't do it on the other ones. That's most likely what happened. I'll bet you.
Yes, I am the Lord.
I know. Thank you for the gift sub. Well, yeah, I mean, your mileage may vary. On a related note, I now have an excellent credit score for the first time, I think, ever. So, that's nice, I guess. I'm going to flip the vinyl over. Yeah, you know, there is a strange phenomenon of people cutting their own legs off that I don't really understand. But that's just sort of a regular thing now. Like, oh, Dav, that is as bad as birthday, let me just say. Nah, I don't even think it's that, Lord Tyrannix. Because there's a lot of people that do that. And they are as beat down and betrodden and poor as every fucking other person. Well, sure, for that specific person, but I'm saying, like, if you look elsewhere, that doesn't seem to be the reason. It's some external thing. It's some other group mentality sort of thing that drives that, I think. And that's because most of the shit is fucking... Most of it is bullshit pancakes. Like... One of the one of the things that they look at is like that you have an account, like the longer and older your account is, and that you really want to have an account that's like 30 years old. Well, okay, that's only going to benefit a very specific age group of people, I feel. What be this tweet? Yeah. 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 Oh. It's so fucking good. So fucking good and true. Especially fucking today, when 50K is basically a poverty wage. Welcome to the reality that there isn't a middle class. There's a bottom class and a top class. And guess who the bottom is? Oh god, dude, I have been absolutely fucking loving Elon since that day. Holy shit, it's so fucking incredible. My god. He wasn't even being directly called out. It's so pathetic. It's the most pathetic shit you could have possibly have ever thought to do. Like, motherfucker, you have the money to pay somebody to tweet on your behalf. Someone who can fucking think. But I mean, we're blessed. We're blessed that there's no filter, there's no barrier, so we can see what a fucking 50-year-old teenager looks like. People really need to see that mask off. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's his avatar on purpose. Because he's a memer, guys! He's meming, dudes! My fellow memers. Yep. Yeah, you can't buy that. You can't buy wit. Meanwhile, I'm fucking dying for no apparent reason. God damn it, man. Oh. I've had like 1 or 2 days in the past 3 weeks where I've felt kind of okay. Oh. Yeah, because that's the first thing that came up when you Google it, and it shows you Google Images. You see the Nerve logo. Assistant, I wasn't fucking talking to you. Yeah, damn straight. Disregard what I said. Not sure that I was talking to you. I was not. Google's as bad as Elon over here.
Did you say Google? Oh, you didn't? Oh. Ooh, Google. Okay, Google.
It didn't respond to that. I'm glad it didn't. I hope I haven't retrained it just then.
Google.
Oh, God. Remember when I had that voice for, like, every sub?
Ooh, thank you for subscribing.
Actually, I need to change it. I wanted to update it, and I believe I have a good one. I believe I have a good one, but it has slipped my mind. Fuck. Oh, yeah. Does anybody have a clean cut of the flat brain speech? I want to make that my sub notification. Like a short version that's just like how does it go? What was the how did the speech go? He has a flat brain. Probably just he has a flat brain. Yeah, if you hit me with that, I will absolutely change it up live. We'll do it live. Maybe both, like the full, that right there. He has a flat brain. I must help him to think. And also just he has a flat brain. Because the long ones can be funny, but they sometimes it's like it goes on too long. So I don't know. It probably won't work if it's the full thing. The time zone rant? I don't remember this rant. I wouldn't be surprised if I ranted about time zones at some point. Immediately. Exactly as I predicted. Do you remember? I think there was a clip. It was probably before the clipocalypse, but I said, once Chibley gets his fiber and he has his channel, he's going to blow past all of us and then not talk to any of us anymore except for Justin. I'm Streamer Damas. I said it during trials, I believe. And Chibwe blushed. He blushed. But inside, internally, he cackled. Like one of those.
He fucking wipes his ass with cash.
Anime
Okay,
split shots.
0.25000000 LTC.
Okay, Guagul. Yo, thank you for the evil crypto tip. I will immediately send that to the trash. I've forgot. I always forget that I have that hooked up. And then in the meantime, since I had hooked that up, I went from being benign on crypto to being like, fuck crypto. So it's an unfortunate circumstance. But money's money. Sorry. I think the NFT things was what really... Oh yeah, that would be good. I'm gonna need another audio clip, please. Yeah, NFTs did it in for me. I was really like just sort of like still in the space of feeling like, well, you know, maybe this crypto thing, you know, because like amongst tech people, crypto is still sort of this, I don't know, this golden calf, this idol, a figure of worship for what it represents. It's programmer money. And they still haven't really let go. And I had definitely pulled back a lot. I was already on the train of being like, this looks like it's basically just contributing to the Fermi paradox for us. But then NFTs happened, and I was like, you know, fuck all this shit. I hate all this shit. Me and all my homies hate all this shit. I don't know if that's 100% all true though, Nee. The problem I have with that sounds a lot like moral panic to me. Stuff like that tends to be very much overblown. I'm not saying it isn't true. And maybe it is as bad as that. Well, yeah, sure, and I agree. But on the flip side, a lack of oversight isn't evidence that such things are definitely happening. Although NFTs would argue otherwise. Unfortunately, I think also like the money laundering thing is also a bit of moral panicky stuff. I mean, I'm just self-regulating is what's happening here. You just ignore me. I always try to remain mindful of mind worms. Even if they're... Or even especially if they seem like very friendly mind worms. Like things that I would tacitly agree with, I almost recoil more strongly. I'm like, I want to hate things, but for the right reasons. Because it's something that I hate in the people that I really dislike. That sort of shit. Like, you name it, man. There's so many of them. Like the satanic panic. Or the fucking trafficking panic. Or whatever. Just, it's a common thing that happens. The reason I say it is just because, like, as an example, the money laundering thing is really thrown around a lot with NFTs. I even said it myself. But I have actually never seen a single citation on the matter. Not a one. Not saying it's not happening. But I'm going to stop repeating it myself until I see some convincing, compelling data. Or something. That's all. That's not a defense of NFTs. It is a defense of my brain cells. From corruption. I know. Someone did say so on Twitter. It's true.
Yes.
And that's what made me repeat it myself. What brain cells? True. Koi, thank you for 29 months. I'm also not telling anybody not to think that. I'm not trying to change your minds. I don't know, shit in general with people is weird. I'm always in a little bit of a strange headspace after I watch like the latest Last Week Tonight. Because I've said it before, but like that show is basically just... It is a... It's always a collection of things that we know are bad. And here's why we can't do anything about it. It's just sort of that over and over again. Like, the latest one was on unions, union organizing. It's fine. It's a fine episode. Covered it all really well. But basically the point of it was, like... yeah, people try to unionize, but the fucking corporations just spend like hundreds of millions of dollars on these firms that are dedicated to ensuring that unions can never form by basically exerting pressure on the workers, probably illegally, but there really isn't any punishment for the corporations, so they can just kind of keep doing that forever, and that's why it'll never happen. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye! Cool, thanks, John. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. I hope this is the last season. It's really amazing how much we went from, like, the road from the New Deal to where we are today is it's kind of amazing if you think about it. Because it's this weird, sad story of like, yeah, there was this little tiny window of time, a little period in our history where things were kind of awesome, actually. And we're really pointed towards being super awesome. But then we just kind of let it all go. Or we let it all be purchased. We sold everything away. Like, how the fuck people let unions go is kind of mind-boggling. But that's kind of a that's reducing it too much, because it's not like it was just let go. It was a matter of money and time. You know, it was a steady erosion where money just kept getting applied like water to a rock. And eventually, the rock became a pebble, and then it became dust. I'm reminded of something else I saw. Oh, what was it? It was another entry in my diary of the tragedy of human existence. Oh, there was a thread on Reddit, a post that a woman made, who she was a psychotherapist, and she's like 50. I think she said she was 50 years old, and she had just jumped back into the dating scene, and she made this post.
Yes, I am
saying,
the Lord.
Yeah, I think there's a mental health crisis with men. Because I just jumped back into the dating scene, and men are unhappy. With more depth than I've characterized it with there. Dino, thank you for that gift sub. I'm constantly fighting off a sneeze, by the way. In case you're wondering why I couldn't figure out what the fuck to do tonight. My every moment is trying to contain a sneeze inside my head. And I'm trying to speak between these sneezes. But anyway. A lot of guys replied to that thread. Well, I mean, I sneezed, but then there's just another one, Beer. There's just another one in the queue. Anyway, a lot of guys replied. And it was interesting because a lot of the replies were fairly candid, right? So you got different flavors of men voicing what they think their problem is. And
yes, I am the Lord.
An interesting hey Kirby, thank you for the 26 months. An interesting sort of archetype I saw repeated a few times were these guys who were talking about how they were told all these things and they were raised in this particular way and none of it turned out to be true. Now, I think that that's pretty common. Like, I was thinking that I've thought that myself, but the way, like the conclusions that I came to are completely different is the thing. Like, my point of view was more in the direction of like, oh, America isn't real. All of this shit is a lie. Like, but, like, I was looking at it very differently than they were.
I am the Lord.
The ones that I saw were much more selfish or self-centered. So basically, they were like raised in church, and essentially, this is too much boiling down, but it very entitled is the way it comes across. I don't think that's necessarily a fair interpretation of those things that I read, but that is effectively what it amounted to in the end, was that they were told that if they did this and they did this, then they would get a wife and a family and a good job. Now, it's a very self-centric point of view to just expect that these, a woman will just appear because you were a good boy. I've never had that, like, ultra masculine focus. There was never a point in my life where I was seeking to just get a wife and start a family. I'm not like family type. I've never really wanted to start a family, and I've never really had like a strong masculine mindset. Just it ain't me. Never was. But I have seen this in other guys, like that friend of mine that I talk about on occasion that kind of flipped out. Went like ultra conservative, instantly got married, instantly started a family, instantly went in the military. And from the outside looking in, it was like some sleeper programming kicked in, like he just did all these things in a very short period of time, and it didn't seem like a lot of thought was put into it. And I also knew him before that all started, so I knew that he had what we would today call like incel tendencies of being like, well, if I can't get with an 11 out of 10, then I'm fuck this world. I don't care about anything. It's like, dude, there's a much broader spectrum. Like, there's beauty is much wider than that. But yeah, that was the interesting comments that I saw. I thought was like this weird thing where these guys came to this conclusion of like, well, I wasn't handed the things that I was told I would be handed if I did all the right, if I did the checklist. Therefore, I don't see the point in living anymore. That was the part I hadn't said yet. That's the conclusion these guys come to, is like, well, I don't see the point in doing anything, because none of that happened. Now, I get that from just the perspective of like an existential crisis, like where what you thought was reality doesn't make sense anymore. It's like, oh, everything's upside down, and so everything that was your motivations for moving forward and doing things in life evaporates. Then yeah, I get that. But it's still maintaining this very narrow point of view. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, like it's outside looking in, but from my perspective, it's like you were very focused on a very narrow line of thinking that people fed to you your whole life. And when you realized it was a lie, instead of your world opening up, instead of your horizon growing, your field of view expanding, it stayed the same. But that narrow area that you can see emptied out, and you're not looking anywhere else. You just decided that there's nothing, and you're gonna quit and take your ball and go home, I guess. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like the world they knew ended. But I guess I'm coming from it like as somebody who sympathizes, because I've had that experience myself. But I feel like it broadened my horizons to have that realization. When I realized like that so much shit that I was taught and told and whatever was all lies. It made me look at it differently. It made me go, Okay, well then what's the truth? I want to know what the fucking truth is. That's what I want to see now. I want to fucking know what the truth is. If this shit was all a fucking lie. But, you know, everybody has different like personalities and I started the existential crisis early. I was Leo, the early doomer. I have to admit that there's probably some aspects to this stuff that I don't understand, though, as well. That I simply can't understand. I can't empathize with. Like, when it comes to personal drive and motivation, I didn't really have my stock ever in mainstream thinking, like the clockwork, you know, graduate high school, go to college, graduate college, get a job, start a family, blah 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 for 30 years, retire and die. That was never like my wants. That never aligned with what I wanted. And I also always had a sense of feeling like I knew what I wanted to do. It might have been like relatively short term, but I didn't go through any of that stuff of like not knowing what I wanted to do. If anything, I knew what I wanted to do way too fucking early, and my strife was people getting in the way of me doing what the fuck I want to do. That's always been my fucking problem. I wanted to quit school like very early, because I just didn't see the fucking point in it. I didn't feel like I was getting fucking anything out of high school. And I just wanted to go do what I wanted to do because I was an artist. I was a musician. I can do this shit. And high school is not doing any of it for me. So, like, what the fuck do I need this for? I just want to get to work. I want to start doing things, making things, living. But then I did go on to, like, kind of let people stand in my fucking way on that shit forever. So I did finish high school. I did go to a college that I didn't really want to be at. And I did drop out of college. Because at some point in there was when I realized, like, I can just kind of quit this at any point, right? I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna do that. That's what I'm gonna do. I've done it. So, yeah. So I do have trouble empathizing. Excuse me, god damn it. Like, I'm not saying I don't have any empathy for people who have a different drive. What I'm trying to say is I'm conceding that I don't have enough of an understanding to fully understand, like, if that was your goal, if your main drive was that you wanted to live a very, you know, regimented, follow the path type of life and just go straight to starting a family or whatever, you know, like, that's not something that I really can wrap my head around that well. To me, it feels like it's a narrow world. I'm not criticizing that type of life, but I just feel like even if that rule set falls away, I feel like there's more to explore, and that you don't have to feel like your life is over necessarily. But I'm conceding that I could be very wrong on that. I mean, clearly I am, because that seems to be a big contributing factor to this epidemic of messed up men. I guess so, yeah. Well, anyway, this is why I still ever read Reddit. Is that there's these things that pop up that are just interesting to me. They're dumb little microcosms of crap. But I don't know. I zero in on these things. I dig through these threads. Messed up, man. Mum. Don't look at those. Don't ever look at those. Yes. Yes. All you'll see is a disgruntled leftist shouting into the void, and occasionally someone will respond and I'll laugh at them. So what I do is I just browse popular and I let it wash over me. Good and bad. Whatever. But I've always been this way. I'll tell you what. Reddit on the whole is very left. It's very lefty. But the bad part of that is that most of the lefty part is pretty liberal. Yes. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Keeper. Yeah, Justin and Taffy and Noah are geniuses.
Yes, I am the Lord.
Yo, Anonymous, name me that gift sub. I mean, that's not really wrong, Pubs. In fact, it's extremely correct. Something about a ton over my window. God. Yes, he would, but stop fucking rubbing it in my face. Mass Tasker was great. Just that one part. To be fair, none of that was written, and I was actually just a stand-in host. So I can't be like, but what about my writing? What about my humor? PP small? Yes. Oh, on the way back, we were driving through somewhere in southern Ohio, and we passed over PP Creek. And let me tell you, it was PEE space PEE space Creek. PP Creek. Just come on now. You're just fucking with me at that point. I saw it, like, we blasted past it. I didn't see it till the last second. I really wanted to snap a picture, but PP Creek, baby, it's real. Oh, it even has its own Wikipedia page. Yeah, you know, I figured I wasn't going to be the first. You want to know what's a really futile effort on Reddit? Talk to anybody about fatness. That whole site hates fat people. It's honestly, it's really disgusting. It's the way people talk. Any thread that has anything to do with the topic of fat is horrific. It's horrific. And if you oh no, I didn't know about that. Ooh, that sucks. But I will say, from experience, people are not awake to this shit at all. So I'm not ready to pull out the pitchforks on anybody, because holy shit, we all need a big education on that one. Big, lots of education. I try to raise points on it, but nobody wants to hear that shit. Nobody. Because, unfortunately, it's tied up in this thing where, like, there have been people who've taken things to a cringe level, and just like when the SJW stuff was at its height, the most cringe version of that is what people remember, basically. And that's exactly what's happening right now with fat phobia. Yeah, Fat People Hate was one of the first banned subreddits. Because there is that subset of people in the fat phobia space who are much more about, like, being proud of being fat, or fat is beautiful, or blah 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 blah, which is like starting at the hardest part and trying to work backwards from there. You're not going to be able to start there with people. So it's sort of been like, that's whenever anybody says anything at all, people react like that's like what you're saying. Yeah. Like, people are not, like, you cannot tell people that BMI is basically not a thing. They don't want to hear it. They will not hear it. No matter what. But BMI is just complete nonsense. It's complete nonsense. Here's the trouble with, at least from an American perspective, and the way that it is talked about here, and the way that healthcare, and like in the medicine space, this shit is layers upon layers upon layers, and it all feeds each other, right? There's the BMI thing, which was completely fucking bullshit. And then that is used in medical spaces and fitness spaces as a measure of people, even though it's not science. It's used to split people up and say, well, at this size, this height, whatever, these are the types of things that you have to worry about, or blah, 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 blah. It's all statistics or whatever. Then another layer on top of all this is the pharmaceutical companies that want to make diet drugs. They want to keep pushing diets. And basically just building more and new eating disorders. And you layer on top of that the AMA declaring that obesity is a disease, even though their own council recommended against it. But their own council recommended against it because they thought it would diminish personal responsibility. As if losing weight is this easy thing you can do. Meanwhile, it's insanely hard to lose weight. Your body just won't do it. You can lose weight, but you'll drift back. You can gain weight, and you'll drift back because your body has this sort of baseline that it maintains. It has a status quo. To lose a lot of weight, you have to permanently change your life. Whenever it takes to lose a particular amount of weight, congratulations, you're doing that for the rest of your life. Whatever it is, you cannot stop. I'm not talking like a little lifestyle change. Like, people like to beat fat people with this stick of like, you're lazy, you're just not doing what you have to do, blah, 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 blah. No. Oh, no, dude. It's not a simple lifestyle change. Beyond all of that, there's so many different reasons why people gain weight. It's not just, no, but I don't even think that that's honestly true, Beer. Because I feel like you've probably been programmed with that, basically, by the surrounding society. Because that's all this society says to you. Is that it's because you're lazy, it's because you're sedentary, blah, 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 fucking blah. But in actuality, sure, yes, eating obviously is involved. Exercise obviously is involved. But it's different for everyone because everybody's body is different. Everyone has different genetics. It's also medication, environment, how much money you make. Well, you're welcome to feel that way. Maybe it is. I don't know you. I don't know your body. But I will say that the point is that there is real negative bias in our society, and it is overwhelming. Like, it's overpowering. Once you're past a certain size, the way people treat you and talk to you is completely different. Further, medical care is insane for fat people. Because there's so many doctors, probably a majority of doctors, that will look at you and diagnose basically anything, whatever you say, as, well, you're fat, lose weight. Well, going home with a diagnosis of lose weight is not going to cure the cancer that the doctor didn't bother to look for. Or whatever else might be wrong that doesn't have anything to do with your weight. Also, a lot of the statistics and studies that have been built up and built up and built up that people use to say, oh, well, you know, fat people are higher risk for this and that. And the next thing, you're going to die because you're fat. You know, that's got to be awesome. Everyone in the whole fucking world telling you you're going to die all the fucking time. Well, the fucking studies, much of that shit is complete bullshit. Because it's based off of, it's just like the BMI thing. It starts with a layer of bullshit, and then they pile more bullshit on top. And it's like, it just keeps compounding, and people aren't doing anything to stop it because it's cathartic to hate fat people. It's easy. Well, I haven't done mass amounts of research myself. I have done a little bit of looking into things to confirm things that I've been learning. But I would strongly recommend a podcast called Maintenance Phase. If you're interested in any of this at all. And I'm not saying to go into it uncritically, but it would definitely be worth your while if you're interested in this subject. And if you feel like, if any of this has been surprising sounding to you at all, I would recommend checking that out and maybe seeing if you learn a little something else about this. It's a very good and interesting podcast. Beer, no one said that's not true. You're narrowing in on something. The argument isn't that if you do unhealthy things, that doesn't matter. In fact, the fact that you say that implies to me that what you're saying is fat equals unhealthy, which is an implicit bias. It's simply not true. That's the thing. That's the whole fucking problem. Fat people are not inherently unhealthy. And a lot of the things that are used to make that argument are not true. So, yes, absolutely, if you do things that are unhealthy, yeah, that's totally fucking 100% I agree. If I inject meth in my arm every day, I don't know how you do meth. Do you inject? You smoke meth, right? Whatever. If you inject a marijuana every day, we know that there's negative health outcomes. But this is why this is a difficult subject, because the areas that we trust for this sort of knowledge keep repeating that fatness is inherently unhealthy. So it's not surprising for anybody to think that, when that's what everyone is being told. It takes digging to actually learn about this, because it is a kind of a unique issue. It's similar to the problems with women's health. Because again, there are inherent biases and things that are parroted continually in our society that people believe widely, but aren't true. And women's health care is subpar compared to men's. because of things like that, and it's very similar to what happens to fat people. I hear you, Dan, but let me tell you this. I think maybe as far as the BMI is concerned, I'm a little bit overweight, but I don't think would any of you call me fat? I don't know if I'm past that line at all. But I lose circulation in my hands and my feet sometimes. It could be an entirely different reason. Okay. All I'm trying to tell you is the proper thing to do in that case is not to go, oh, I'm fat, I guess. I should lose weight. No. You should go to a fucking doctor and tell them what's happening with you and find out exactly why. Don't assume, oh, well, I'm fat. Exactly. It's absolutely related to stuff like that, Pancakes, for sure. Oh my god, yeah. Nakomi also has probably had PCOS. It's hard to fucking tell because healthcare for women is a goddamn nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. Imagine if you, like, for any of the men here, imagine going to a doctor to request a medical procedure be done, and the doctor wants to make sure that you get your spouse's permission because, well, you might want to have kids in the future. You don't know, or maybe your spouse wants kids. You know, try to imagine that. That's a thing that doesn't happen to fucking, you know, blank sheet of paper white ass dudes like myself. I can go to the doctor and just be like, do whatever, and they'll do whatever, and I'll probably get pretty average or above average health care. Meanwhile, my wife, we go from doctor to doctor, and it's just this weird fucking mess where, like, because it has anything to do with the uterus or the ovaries, we can't just get what needs done. And I implore you to consider, similarly, a fat person going in to any doctor and continually being told the diagnosis is lose weight. And whether or not you feel like you would be satisfied with that diagnosis every fucking time, when it doesn't seem like what's wrong with you has anything to do with what you eat or what your size is or etc. Not saying it can't, but the problem is that they're not even checking. They're just assuming because of what they see. But I would argue that this is just seeing zebras all the time. Because, as I've already explained, fatness is not a guarantee of a health issue. Like, we essentially need to like start over and rewrite everything. Like, my expectation going into a doctor is always examine me and figure out what's wrong, not look at me and assume. And that should be applied to everybody. That's what everyone should get when they step into a doctor's office. Unless your fucking arm's off. Then maybe they can make an assumption. But outside of that, how you look should not be what determines your health care. I don't know how you can argue this beer. But I urge you to dig deeper, I guess. Because I feel like at this point we would just be going in a circle. I feel like I've explained pretty clearly why that's not the most likely culprit. Oh, were you beer? I didn't take it as that. I took it as arguing that it's proper to reach a diagnosis that way. That was my read. Or were you summing up what I was saying? If I misinterpreted, I'm sorry. I do apologize. Thankfully, I don't seem to be having any further stomach issue this evening. Just my shitty cold. So that's an improvement. Well, at any rate, obviously I've been getting radicalized on that lately. And then now, like, that's one of the most prevalent things that I see on Reddit is just insane. Like, people just completely cut loose when they start having any kind of a conversation about fat people. It's honestly sickening to read. There was somebody who was talking about fat people. They were arguing with somebody, and they were like, their counter argument was that, oh, well, they're disgusting and they smell and like all this other shit. I'm like, what the fuck? How can you fucking say anything like that in public to other people? What the fuck is wrong with you? Anybody can fucking stink. Fat people do not inherently smell. No more than anybody else. I'm just tired of people, dude. I'm tired of people. Oh, wait. Do I not? Oh, I don't. That sucks, JJ. That fucking sucks. It's not very good. I felt like sketching. Yeah, the Streamlabs thing is pretty hilarious. No, it's nobody in particular. Just sketching, just sketching around. Yeah, the new Gartic phone mode is very cool. Oh, good. That's good to hear, Igloo. I don't know. This isn't really. It's not going anywhere.
Yes, I am the Lord.
Whisper Dan, thank you for 32 months. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing at this point. I started thinking about expressions and how I don't draw good expressions. Whoops. Yeah, you have to exaggerate them a lot. You can't just have, like... Actually, it's not that one. I always wanted to make a comic with, like, weird characters, but I don't have a story to tell. Wish I could make something as cool as, like, Mob. I love the style of Mob. It's ridiculous. Always jealous of those creators that get away with just being their weird old selves. Yeah, that sounds awful, food. What a terrible suggestion. Nah, I mean something fun. I don't know why, but I like this guy a lot. And this guy. This kind of looks like Dexter, actually, this one. It's got a Dextery feel to him. Like if he had Dexter's glasses. Maybe I could do something with a bunch of characters that kind of have like polygon heads for some reason. Like this was supposed to be an ear back here, but also kind of looks like hair. Like vague shapes implying hair. This kind of looks like he's got a bucket for a head, like a cylinder head. Or a tumor. Or a tumor. Maybe it could be some, like, sort of dystopian weird future where everybody's heads are all... They look polygonal, but it's actually, like, genetic deformations due to pollution and shit like that. This is basically Toxic Adventure. Toxic Avenger. That's what I'm describing. Yeah, they're all NFTs. Exploring the ruins of humanity. Why were we created? I kind of like drawing characters that are based off of this. Not the NFT idea, but just the kind of weird polygon heads. Can I draw non-Dexter with other emotions? kind of had like, it's like, it looks like he's wearing like a mask of some kind.
Yes, I am the Lord.
Control Z. Control Z.
Brion, thank you for 63 months. Kind of a different face every time. Failing to stay on model. Where? What? Has something gone wrong with your eyes? Do you need assistance? That's a mouth. Right there. This is a mouth. I guess you could interpret it however you want. Don't know which big head and mouth we're talking about. Actually, Food was seeing it correctly. That's a smile. Sort of like a hug monster. This little guy is intimidated. You see? No nose. If this is the nose, could do that. That works, right? It's not as cute. It's a little creepier. No, no eyebrows. Too much eyebrows. This looks like an old man with no teeth in his mouth. This one over here. And no nose. there. Now it's basically it's like shitty Elmer Fudd. Dude, when we were in Kentucky, we went to a Dollar General, and there was absolutely a Boomhauer in there. We were walking in, there was some guy yakking it up at the cash register, and he was just, no, I'm named for problem. I don't think I'm no sheep down from just full on Boomhauer, completely unintelligible. I don't know down at work. I don't see. I don't know. We don't know championship. I'm jealous of Twitter artists with their defined styles. They're set in stone. This is how I make characters stuff. Slap, 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 slap. Fourth character from the left. Oh, what this? Wait, what? This guy? To me, he looks like a little kid. A weird, smug little kid. Like a bully. Ren and Stimpy. I used to draw Ren and Stimpy all the time. Ren and Stimpy was that was like the artist's artist. Everybody was trying to do what Ren and Stimpy did. That style, the animation, the over the topness, really massively influenced animation, cartoons, hugely. Fucking probably. I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me. Who knows? Most likely. Isn't that everything? Probably yes. I like this one a lot too. Something about that face. I like borderless eyes. I think it's really cool sometimes. It's definitely a style. Blah. Nope. The Joffy told you to delete your art. This was weird. It's weird that this is what we did. This is kind of an interesting set. Right? It does feel like they do. They feel like they go together. I feel like the smaller one would be kind of loud and the tall one would be basically mute. Oh, I guess it's, yeah, I guess that just makes it Jay and Silent Bob. Great point you make. I don't think any of the rest of them really go with it. maybe this guy. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that, BFA. For some reason, I kind of felt like this is like, the smart and smug. This would be... Yeah, it's like a common set, right? There you go. Can't escape that which has already been created. Change the setting. All right, I gotta go, my friends. Thanks for hanging. This has been weird. It was like ranting, and then like mostly silently drawing. It's one of those nights, I guess. I need to finish this other... I need to finish my cave drawing. It just got so arduous. really the hard parts are almost completely done. Thank you. Yeah, this is called Temple of Kono. Everything, JJ, everything. Like, this is just mock-up lighting. It's not real. It's not how it ought to be. It's incomplete. There's no detail on the floor. That needs something. It should really look like sand. Colors aren't really what I want. They don't really look like stone. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it's definitely incomplete. I'm super happy with the line work portion of it. You know, that's looking real good. It looks detailed. I think it looks like rock and cave, so I'm happy with that. And I love the contrast, like on this over here, where I've got like this ruinous statue thing, and it's all like hard lines surrounded by organic looking rock. That came out real pleasingly. And the face really looks like living rock. So I achieved that. I think I just basically set out to achieve certain things, and I just don't feel like I've completely achieved them yet. The lighting's super incomplete as well. It's kind of like I did a bunch around the middle, but then nothing beyond. It's Kolomek, yeah. Oh, this here? Thank you. Also incomplete. These are very much like rough lines of just indicating where the bricks ought to be, but detail-wise they're lacking. This one's more complete. I'm pretty happy with that because it does look like a collapsed pile of bricks. Oh, so many unfinished things. Why am I so bad at that? Why am I so bad at that? Remember this? Remember when I was doing this? Just tour all the things I'll never finish. Now that Space Cops is over, these are commemorative posters now. In memory of Space Cops. In memory of when I used to draw things. I don't know what one's my favorite. I really like them all. It's either this one or this one. What up, Dave? Yeah. You got that good timing. Yeah, there's just something about this one that I really love. I think it's the dynamism of the poses. I tried to get all of them like that, you know? Like this one I redid from scratch to try to improve the position of everybody, the poses and the expressions. But this one just feels very dynamic. This one's not bad. I honestly, I still really like them all. I had a lot of help from the Undo Crew artists. When I was making these, I kept posting in progress stuff. Like, hey, how's this? How's this? What about this? What else can I do? Oh, and this one? Yeah. There's an effect where there's a bloom over her and Good and a little bit over Justin's face, but the bloom effect really does something for this. And plus, you know, I did paint lighting onto her colors and stuff and put a big glow behind her hair. So it looks like an arid, dry, hot day, like sunset kind of. And I also like the contrast of you know, how bendy and round the characters are, and then Justin's bike is this hard lines, detailed object in the foreground. So it contrasts well against, you know, natural looking body shapes. Human morning vibe? Okay. Fair enough. You can walk away with whatever vibe you want. I mean, this one I could probably call it done, honestly. This one could go out. This one too. It conveys what it means to convey. Risk. But I feel like this one needs more background through here. It's lacking detail. Just the one tree, nothing else. It needs some more stuff. And then this one's the most incomplete. No, I wanted implied zombies. I didn't actually want to involve any zombies in the composition. That's why Good is swinging a sledgehammer off camera, or towards off camera, and Nakomi is aiming a shotgun off camera.
Yes,
Mainly mom.
I am the Lord.
32 months. Thank you. Oh yeah, I think Tenosis messaged me some probably some audio clips. Oh yeah. Thank you, Tenosis. I think I'll probably do this off stream now, but
he has a flat brain.
Good. Well cut. Nice and clean sounding. Thank you. Let's listen to the longer one. Oh, it's only 4 seconds for the full thing.
He has a flat brain. I will tell him. I will help him to think.
That's not bad. That's not too long. Maybe it could work. You like compressed it, you cut it together.
He has a flat brain. I will tell him. I will help him to think.
Jump cuts.
He has a flat brain.
All right, I should stop doing the artist's lament thing and get out of here. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna head out. I will see you all tomorrow with my flat brain. And have a good night. Love y'all. I'll see you next time.